Good afternoon, dear friends. Let's start with the Kursk direction, specifically its southern part. As you know, yesterday, Ukrainian monitoring resources acknowledged the loss of Pokrovsk. Pokrovsk has come under the full control of the Russian army, although this settlement has long been under Russian control. However, yesterday there was confirmation that the Russian army indeed controls this area. As of today, the map looks like this. Reports from the Russian side suggest that the control zone is slightly wider, reaching the Psel River. Here is the river, and this entire area is under the control of the Russian army. Additionally, there is a Russian army presence in the forests east of Kiev. Otherwise, these are the changes observed in this area for today. There have also been updates from the settlement of Makhnovka. It is reported that Russian troops are conducting combat operations not on the northern outskirts of the settlement, but somewhere in the center, in these areas. Thus, it can be noted that 1/3 of the settlement is under the control of the Russian army, another third is controlled by the Ukrainian army, and the center of the settlement is in the gray zone. Additionally, reports indicate that Russian forces are expanding their zone in the settlement of Kurakhove and are attacking in the direction of Melovaya. Melovaya is located here, and attacks are coming from Kurakhove toward Melovaya. Otherwise, the map currently looks like this. Looking back at yesterday, the map appeared as follows. The day before yesterday, this entire territory came under Russian control. Let's switch to today's map and move on. In the settlement of Ruskaya Porochnaya, Russian forces have not only fortified their positions, but are also conducting attacks on Cherkasskaya Porochnaya. The attacks are coming from the north. Additionally, as you know, Russian forces drove all Ukrainian formations out of Berdina and Novosotnitskoye yesterday and are now advancing toward Cherkasskaya Porochnaya. Switching back to yesterday's map, the area marked in yellow was under Ukrainian control or contested. Today, reports suggest that this area is now in the gray zone, so the map looks like this. Moving on. Reports have also come in from Stara and Novaya Sorochina. Part of Novaya Sorochina and part of Stara Sorochina are under Russian control. Thus, it can be said that Russian forces have entered both settlements. Ukrainian resources also confirm that Nikolaevka and Kruglenkaya are under Russian control. For now, the map looks like this, with confirmations coming only for the areas marked in red. Regarding Pogrebki, today the Ukrainian army has fully cleared the settlement, and it is now under their control. These are the changes observed in this area for today. Moving on, Leonidovo and Alexandria have come under Russian control, as acknowledged by Ukrainian sources. Today, clearing operations are ongoing in these settlements, and within the next 1 or 2 days, this territory is likely to be officially marked as controlled by the Russian side. Otherwise, there are no significant changes in this area for today. The map currently looks like this. Let's shift to the Kupyansk direction. Here, no major changes have been reported for today. It is noted that the area near the bridgehead up to the R79 highway is under Russian control. Fighting is also ongoing for the forested area east of the settlement of Zapadnoye, where combat continues. Otherwise, the map currently looks like this. The red-marked areas represent expanded Russian-controlled zones. These are the changes observed in this area for today. Moving on, in the Kolosnikovka area, Russian forces acknowledge the loss of some territories. Once geospatial materials are received in the next 2 days, the area will be marked as controlled by Ukrainian forces. Currently, the northern part of Kolosnikovka is under Ukrainian control. It is likely in the gray zone, but geospatial materials have shown forward Ukrainian army positions in this area, so it is marked in yellow as controlled by Ukrainian forces. Otherwise, these are the changes in this area for today. Next, we have the settlement of Terny. Reports indicate that Russian troops are completing the clearing of this settlement, and by today or tomorrow, it will come under Russian control. There are also reports that Russian forces have expanded their control zone in the settlement of Ivanovka, located here. Yesterday, Ukrainian resources acknowledged the loss of this settlement. Today, reports indicate that Russian troops have expanded their control zone and are advancing toward Kolodezi and Belogorovka. In the coming days, geospatial materials are expected, and the map will be updated accordingly. Otherwise, this is the current situation in this area for today. Let's move further to the Seversk direction. Today there have been no movements. Yesterday there was information from this point, which we discussed, but otherwise there are no advancements in this area today. Now let's move to Chasov Yar. A lot of information is coming in, but much of it requires verification. Regarding the refractory plant, it is currently surrounded on 3 sides. Let me zoom in. The refractory plant is located here, and Russian forces are controlling the territory from the north as well as from the south. This puts the refractory plant almost in full encirclement. There is also unverified information that Russian forces from the south and north have linked up, and Ukrainian formations located in the forested area east of Chasov Yar are encircled. This information requires confirmation, but I am sharing it with you as news. Otherwise, the map in this area today looks like this. Let's move to the settlement of Toretsk. There are significant developments here as well. Approximately 95% of Toretsk is now under Russian control, and Russian forces are expanding their zone of control. As of today, the control zone looks like this. The entire territory marked in red has come under Russian control. It is also reported that Ukrainian forces have abandoned the Toretsk mine, located here, and retreated to other positions. Based on this, we can conclude that by the end of this week, Toretsk will likely come under full Russian control. At the beginning of next week, the Russian Ministry of Defense is expected to announce that Toretsk is fully under Russian control. Otherwise, the map in this area today looks like this. Let's move further on the map to the settlement of Vozdvizhenka. Here, Russian forces are expanding their control zone. The territory marked in red has come under Russian control. Today, it is reported that attacks are being carried out on Vodyanoye 2nd, Zelenoye Pole, and that assault operations are underway in the direction of Baranovka. A Russian armored column was spotted here, moving toward Vodyanoye. These are the changes in this area today. In the coming days, we are likely to receive geospatial confirmations from both Russian and Ukrainian sides. I remind you that a highway connecting Konstantinovka and Pokrovsk passes through here. It appears the Russian army's goal is to cut this route, disrupting supplies and the connection between these 2 major Ukrainian settlements. Now let's move to the Pokrovsk direction. There are no significant changes on the map today, but there are developments in the settlement located between Soleno and Volkovo. Here, Russian forces have cleared the pocket between these 2 settlements and slightly expanded their control zone. Fighting continues in Peshanoye. Otherwise, these are the map updates for this area. There is also unconfirmed information that Russian forces have captured most of the settlements of Lisovka and Zelenaya. We are waiting for confirmation, and the map has not yet been updated. Let's move to the settlement of Ukrainka. Today, Ukrainian forces acknowledged the loss of this settlement. Geospatial material has also come in from this point, showing that a Russian tank was attacked with an FPV drone at this intersection. Forward positions of Russian forces are located here. Based on this, we can mark this entire area in red as under Russian control, and attacks are now targeting the settlement of Yasenevaya. Otherwise, these are the changes in this area for today. Let's move further on the map. As we mentioned earlier, Slavyanka, Petropavlovka, and Shevchenko have come under Russian control. Clearing operations are ongoing in these territories and the surrounding fields. The map for today shows that this entire area, marked in red, is transitioning to Russian control. As you can see, the Russian army is clearing pockets between settlements and is likely aligning the front line like this. Attacks are already underway toward Andreevka. Geospatial material has been received from this point, showing a Russian FPV drone attacking Ukrainian positions as they attempted to approach Petropavlovka. Otherwise, these are the map changes for today. Let's move further to Kurakhove. There have been no significant changes here today. Reports suggest that Russian forces are concentrating reserves in this settlement and will launch assaults on Dakhnoye in the coming days. The map for today looks like this. Let's move to Velikaya Novoselka, where significant developments have been reported. Today, information indicates that Russian forces are attacking along the entire front line, both from the south and the north, improving their positions. As we can see, the territory marked in red is under Russian control, bringing Russian forces close to Neskuchnoye and Vremivka. It is likely that in the coming days, Neskuchnoye will be captured, as the road here will be cut off, severing its supply lines. Once Neskuchnoye comes under Russian control, it is possible that assault operations will move to Vremivka. Since Vremivka is separated from Velikaya Novoselka by a water barrier, it will effectively be cut off. Once Russian forces capture Vremivka, Velikaya Novoselka will almost be encircled, as the Mokre Yali River will prevent any retreat. These are the changes in this area for today. Now let's move to the Kurakhove direction. As you can see, no significant changes are occurring here. No updates have been received from this direction today. Similarly, there have been no updates from the Kherson direction. Everything remains quiet here. For today, the map looks like this. Thank you all for watching, and to everyone who subscribed to the channel. See you next time.